Alright, so here we're going to put together my 3-pound bot, spinner winner chicken dinner. Here's my sandwiched TPU, Lexan, and UHMW. I've also moved up to 4mm screws. I was using 3 and they seemed too small, but 4 seem like they're going to do it. Alright, so that's how the panels are going to be. Alright, so let's start piecing this thing together. Just in case if I didn't cover this, I think I did, but I'll just do it again. I printed this much bulkier, the motor mount, and I made a plate that's going to keep the electronics from going into the bar. Before, when I did it, I didn't do that. So now I have something to prevent that from happening. Alright. Yeah, let's start with putting that in there. I think that would be a lot easier, because usually I put it in last and it's kind of a fiddly situation that's pretty tough to do. I still have 3mm screws for the rest of the bot, but the side panels are now 4mm. Alright, so yeah, and with this side panel not on, I'll be able to put this in there much easier. This screw is usually really tough to do. I'm gonna get a pair of pliers that I don't have. There we go. Supposedly it was going to help, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, if I keep dropping everything. There we go. I don't think I'm making the angle there. There we go. This is my first time putting the whole bot together. Alright, I don't want to cinch it up too much. I want to make sure I get all these other screws in first. And these are all going to be going into the nylon, so I'm not going to worry about thread locking them, but if they weren't, then I would thread lock them. There's a few that I believe they're going to be cutting it close, so I will be thread locking them. we go. Alright, so now we'll tighten this one back up now that I got it straight. That one I don't think is going very deep into the nylon, so I probably should thread lock it. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And that's the one that's a pain in the butt to do, but that's alright. I'm gonna do it right the first time. We'll be regretting it as it comes out, getting shooken up during battle. So we're going to pop it back out and get some thread lock on the screw. There we go. Now I can't reach it because it's locked in place. So we're going to have to figure out the angle here. Alright, we're going to take the screw back out. No. Pain in the butt right there. Alright, we got this. I shouldn't have made this such a pain in the ass, huh? Oh, you're not even in the screen there. Alright. It's just all a tight fit. Usually I try not to do this when I do a build, but everything's kind of cutting it close. There we go. Alright, they're locked on there. Alright, now this next screw is going to be really easy. This is going to drop through the plate and goes right to the bottom here. And this is another one that's needing to be thread locked because it doesn't go very deep into the nylon. We can do that while it's on there. There we go. I think I'm going to adjust this camera a bit. There we go. All right. Let's make sure those are all cinched up nicely. Cool. Alright, so now our motor is in place for our weapon. Now let's get our back panel on here. I believe that will be a good idea. So we're going to slide our battery plug underneath here. But first, let's give some power to our ESCs because it's going to be kind of a tight fit. To our drive ESCs. There we go. Now we're going to slide this in here. To tidy this wire up, we're just going to plug in also our weapon motor ESC. There we go. Make sure these are pretty tight because I don't want to have to, or those to fall apart getting hit. Those are hard to undo. JST plugs are really hard to undo normally, so I really trust that they're going to stay together during combat. Okay, so we're going to start screwing these in now. And these are going to screw into the actual 3D printed center chassis part, so these will stay on there pretty good already. And then I'll add the nuts on the inside now. I don't even know if this tool fits yet. This is like my first time trying to put this thing together. Oh, just barely. Perfect. Now just trying to get the bolt in place. It's going to be the fun part. Nice. Alright, let's do the second one. I have a feeling this is going to be a really tight fit with all these electronics. This side seems to be a little tighter. I think the wheel's a little closer. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. tires work better. Nope. What am I gonna do about that? I'm gonna have to undo the wheel to get this in there. I don't think I like the angle of this camera setting here. I keep finding myself going off camera. Might pop this wheel off real quick. That will make it easier. Boom. Oh yeah. I can do it at all. All right. Pretty sure that I can put the wheel back on now, but we're gonna probably take, yeah, I'll get the other screws on just before we put the wheel on, just to make sure. And it is just right here, but we'll see how difficult it is with the other wheel on. I don't think it will be though. All right. That is jam-packed full of electronics, and we don't even have a battery in there yet, or a receiver. It'll work. All right, so I guess we're gonna put the side panels on now. So that means this wheel has to be back on. Alright, we'll start with this one first. Pretty sure I'm going to use thread lock on these screws here because, well, on these two front ones at the very least. Alright, let's start sinking it into the actual 3D printed center chassis piece. These will hold it on as well. I can stay on while I try to put these screws in. Try to put these screws in. Go a lot further than that. I'm going to keep going until they start to come out the inside piece here. There we go. I have something for it to screw into. Some threads available so I can start screwing in the bolts. I have to keep going back and forth with the screws because they're actually screwing into the 3D printed center chassis piece. So I have to keep going back and forth to make sure that the nut is screwing on. I gotta back it out until the nut's tight and then grab the nut with the wrench and then finish screwing the screw. There we go, like that. Alright. Pretty good. Now let's do the top one. This will be a lot easier. Back it up to the nut's tight, put the tool on. There we go. Perfect. Alright, nice. That cinched up nicely. Here, I'm going to scoot everything a little bit towards me more. And then move the camera a little closer too, and that should make it, there we go, a little easier for me to get to the project in camera. Yeah, that's much better. Alright, so let's do these front ones now and see how much thread we get. To work with. I think it's only going to be like 3 millimeters, so I might have to use thread lock. Gosh, only maybe 2. Darn it. If it doesn't seem like enough, I may have to reprint this TPU piece a little thinner in the front there, but I do want to make it as thick as possible to help reduce damage. Screw them in all the way and see how far it comes out. Oh, that's good. It's sticking out a good 3 millimeters. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's plenty. I still will use thread lock, but I thought it was going to be a lot less. So we're going to thread lock them now. Just gonna lost to the bottom one first. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. I've been foolish. Do the top one so it's in the way, right? Cross thread going on there. Fix that. I'm bending that Lexan in a bit. Let's try to. There we go. Side. All right, got one side panel on there. Let's get the other side now. There we go. Wasn't quite matching up. The reason I got all these layers on here is because I only had access to 1/4" UHMW, so I'm hoping this will make this bat last at least the event. So I didn't want to do it this way, but this is what I was kind of stuck doing in the time I had to build this bot, and materials available and tools I have to use to machine them. Alright, this will be much easier on this side. don't have to muscle around I don't have to get around the motor mount. Alright, much easier on this side. Alright, so let's screw these ones in all the way, and then we'll thread lock them, and then we'll unscrew it and then screw the nut on. Like we did the other side there. Unscrew it. One more and we got our side panels completely on. Go. All right, side panels are on. All right, so what we're looking like here. I might change the name to the Mean Green Machine or something like that because there's so much green on this thing. All right, I'm actually liking that a lot. Feels pretty solid. First time putting it all the way together too, so. Pretty neat. All right, so let's get our, let's put our beater bar on. That's where we're at. Let's do it. All right. So I got these end caps here, which are gonna help protect the nut and keep me from getting stuck on my side doing the thing. as we refer it as. Alright. Alright, so I got this piece here, and that's going to press against the pulley, or not the pulley, the washer. Not a washer, darn it. Bearing. Hopefully to just keep it all in line. Alright. I got too crazy with that. I need to pull that back out quite a bit. Alright, so that goes in there. And just for fun, I got the sleeve that goes over the nut in the inside here just to make it a little different. Which serves no purpose other than looks. Alright, now this is going to be the hard part. So I got another little bearing set up here that's going to keep it flowing free. So we're going to stand it up here. I'm going to get this in between here. Capture it all in there. Alright, got it. These are actually pretty neat because they help. I can use it to screw on the bolts. I won't be doing that. I'll use the tool first and then snap them back on. Because what they do is they fit onto the nut very nicely. But this nut is stuck in there, so I have to get it threaded on first, and then I can pop this back off. After it threads in there a little bit. There we go. Alright, let's use the tool here, tighten this up. Yeah, I don't know why it does that, but oh, you know what I forgot to do? Put on our Alright, so let's take this back apart and slide in our timing belt. No big deal. Thought I went together too quick and too easy. Let's get it on there. There we go. Just think about running it without that spacer in there. But I think this might just flow too much left and right. of sloppy, I think. Yeah, let's put the spacer in there. There we go. Boom. Oh, we're having a little bit of trouble here. This screw is hitting my not perfectly straight or perfectly symmetrical beater bar. This one corner hits this screw. So what I'm going to do is get a Dremel tool and cut that a couple threads off of that screw right there, so it stops doing that. But we're just going to finish putting this together anyways for now, and I'll borrow my buddy's Dremel tool tomorrow morning. He's already sleeping. So we won't cinch this on here too crazily, but we'll get it on there now. I was like wondering what the heck it was hitting. Alright, good. I'm glad these are difficult to get on, because if they were too easy, then they'd pop right off during battle. If I can get it on at all. There we go. I was hoping to fire this thing up, but you know, I do have to try to figure out what motor's what in the channels, so we'll do that. And we won't be firing up the weapon bar, of course, because we don't want it to hit that screw and cause any damage to any of the components. So that's the basics of it. Well, here, let's shove everything in here. We can get a first glance on how it's going to look all together here. There we go. I won't screw these in all the way, just enough to get the lid to stay on all the way without me holding it on. So that's our 3-pounder. And it's got, you can also be able to drive on upside down, inverted. There it is. It weighs 2 pounds and 14 ounces. So in case if I gotta just do any quick repairs and borrowing parts or changing out whatever, hopefully I will still be in weight. And so this will keep it from rolling or staying on its side. These little side caps. I don't really have anything for this to prevent this, but you know, I do have a couple. You know, I've still got 2 ounces of weight left over. I was gonna try to figure out something for the back here to keep that from happening. But I believe as long as my motor's working for my weapon, I should be able to fire it up and put on the brakes, and it should drop me to the ground. So I got really close clearance to the ground. It's just like 2 millimeters or 1 millimeter or so, top and bottom. It's really, really close. Alright, so that's the basics of that. Hopefully it'll hold up on in the event this weekend at UC Berkeley.